How's it going, everyone? Since I've had a lot more spare time on my hands, I've been playing with a bit of Linux distribution, and I found most of them kind of suck out of the box. Like, they don't have any Windows program support. They've got the taskbar in the stupidest places, like either the side or on the roof for some fucking reason. I thought I'd try and change that, but then I ended up kind of doing my own thing to the point where I may as well just made a whole distro of it. Kind of like that whole Windows Pi project I worked a little while ago, but just a desktop version of it now. But yeah, I'll give a quick demo. So you get this loading Windows screen, so that might give you a bit of a clue on what's going on here. But we'll let it boot up. So a few Windows 95 users may find some familiarity here, because it's the same as their old boot screen saying beginning to run Windows 95 for the first time, but it checks. This is while it's checking every file on the disk. It says there's errors found in one files, but that's because I patched something after I made the ISO and I haven't changed the hash in the MD5 folder. That's alright though. There we go. Got the same setup background. Also got a mouse cursor. It actually gives you the option to run the whole operating system off the disk. I found you can't really run Windows programs in that mode though, because there's not enough storage space. Like, I think it's just using RAM, and I've only got a 2 gig RAM VM. There we go. But yeah, we'll go try Windows. There we are. So it's based on a theme called Chicago 95, which is basically a Windows 95 theme for Linux, which is what I've built the whole thing around. Because I thought it was a really clever idea. But excuse the stutter there, that's just my virtual machine not playing along. But yeah. I think it looks pretty damn close, honestly. Okay, so let's give a little tour around the place. First of all, here's our shortcut to install it once you're in the live demo. You've also got your home directory, which it's also got the theme applied. But I've tweaked some things. This whole distro is based on Xubuntu. Just modified the fucking hell out of it. We've got the music, pictures and videos folders, which are normally there anyway, but I've added the classic sample music sort of thing that other versions have. There we go. Pretty epic. I've also added my Bad Toys remix in there. Oh, shit. For some reason it's opening in Audacity now. I might have to fix that. But, yeah, on my to-do list I'm gonna fix what programs open with what, because it's opening with random things. I noticed, like, if you download a zip file or something and you extract it, it seems to open with the file search and not Explorer. Or whatever they call this one, Thuna apparently. But, there we go, pretty epic. Supposed to play with the you got the custom sounds too. Yeah, there we go. It's supposed to open with this one. Oh yeah, I'm working on it, don't worry. But yeah, we got MIDI support working properly, because that was another problem I found, is you'd have MIDI files working in certain media players, but then other ones that won't work. Apparently there's this default GM file. I'll go and find it. This friggin' thing right here was problematic. It's supposed to be like a shortcut that goes to the file that's hidden next to it. That's where the instruments are, but for some reason it's always broken, and I don't know why. Anyway, I've fixed the shortcut, and I've also installed a thing called Fluid Synth. Anyway, that lets you have MIDI support in Wine and a few other programs. So MIDI support is basically working out of the box properly. We've also got some pictures. These are just like low colored dithered images I made in Photoshop. Or edited in Photoshop, I should say. I didn't actually create the originals, but I sure did try to make it look retro. Here we go. I'll actually go and change the screen resolution. There we go, that's better. We got the dithered apple thing, it's only got 16 colours. Same with Spyro gems. And some space background I dithered as well. I reckon this one actually looks the best out of them. It actually looks like a stock wallpaper you'd get. This is that. In the sample videos directory we've got the Microsoft Dangerous Creatures lizard video. I think it's pretty epic. insanely good quality, you know. Just what we want. But yeah, I think that whole video was like 2 megabytes in size. Oh yeah, there you go, 2.1 megabytes. Pretty good. Alright, so what else we got in here? What have I preloaded? So I've basically changed either some default applications, removed them, or replaced them with something else. The first thing you may have noticed is I've changed Firefox to Chrome if you're an Xubuntu user. Not that many people would be. Oh yeah, you're probably wondering what the keyboard icon down here is. It's just a built-in on-screen keyboard. So if you have a touchscreen device, then yeah, you can do that. So that's what I initially planned to run this on, because this thing uses fuck all resources. This is running off the disk, and it's only using 700 mega RAM. When it's installed, it's usually about 680 megabytes of RAM, which I think is pretty good, considering when I run Windows 10, it uses like 2 gig doing fuck all, and as soon as you try to run a YouTube video in Chrome, those laptops are dead. And there was another laptop I wanted to try this on that had 2 gig of RAM, and I found out that can only boot 32-bit operating systems despite being released in like 2014. Yeah. Some other things I've preloaded is CloneZilla, Gparted, and Qdirstat. CloneZilla lets you clone hard drives or backup hard drives as image files, so that's really, really handy. Gparted lets you resize hard drive, reformat them into pretty much any format you want. Qdirstat is Linux equivalent of Windurstat, if anyone's ever used that out there. It's basically a tool where if you want to find out what files are using up the most storage, say I do this thing. Yeah, here we go. My home folder, this green one, the lizard, uses a lot. The Bad Toy 3D is the biggest thing in the home folder when you get it, which goes to show how light I've put this thing. And then it's like some JavaScript files in Chrome. The next piece. What else we got? Oh yeah, you've got Office, but that was preloaded in Xubuntu one as well. Settings. I've added wine config straight here, so you can configure wine out of the box. I think by default it sets itself to Windows 7, so you can change it to Windows 10 because there may be 1 or 2 programs out there that say, "Ooh, you're not running on the latest. We're not running." So you can fake it there. We've also got Chocolate Doom built in. I may have just spoiled early there. Now if you go multimedia, yep, Audacity is preloaded. Gonna have like at least something to edit or convert audio. So this file here either lets you rip DVDs or any of that crap, or more importantly to me, you can convert video. It even has some Discord presets, but that's pretty nice. In internet, I've gotten rid of Transmitter or whatever it was, transcribe. I don't know. It was like some crappy BitTorrent thing that came with Ubuntu. This one comes with QBitTorrent though, so that one's actually usable in my opinion. Plus we got Chrome instead of Firefox. Still got Thunderbird Mail though. Graphics, I've installed, I've left all this except for Pinter, which is basically just a Paint.net clone. A really good clone in my opinion, but the problem I have with it is it doesn't seem to support the Paint.net plugins, and I don't think anyone's made equivalents. So, like, yes, it's got all the built-in ones from Paint.net, but it doesn't really have its, The other issue I have with it is the font button takes a while to load. Which, see how long, there we go. Now it's working. So, it's easier to use than GIMP, at least it has a circle tool for starters, which is a bit of a meme at this point. The other thing I've done is, if I click the fonts button up here, I've installed all the Windows 95, well actually just all the Microsoft fonts. So we got Comic Sans, Arial, and more importantly we've got Impact. And another thing, there's no way you can't use the scroll wheel here in this program. There are lots of flaws with it. But yeah, there's Impact there, so we can try to write. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Otherwise, we have got GIMP. At least the text button actually works straight away. Cool. In the games, now it had this one, Sudoku, and Minesweeper. I've gotten rid of Sudoku because, I mean, who the fuck plays that? I'd rather have something else there in its place. Minesweeper is already in the puzzles collection that's pre-installed, so if you want to play Minesweeper, just play it through there. We've also got Chocolate Doom, which has the shareware WAD preloaded, and also the MIDI pre-configured as well to use the sound font. epic. Oh yeah, so I brought all the card games back. Yeah. Oh wait, I'm not playing Spider Solitaire, I'm playing regular Solitaire. If you go to select game, there's a lot of card games in here. It's got pretty much everything. I just know Spider, and then change the thing to one suit. Yeah, there we go. I find this one a lot more easier, because I hate getting stuck in Solitaire after spending ages in it. So, anyway, it's got Solitaire in it. I've also got a hex editor built into it. Oh yeah, there's wine tricks as well, that can be helpful. What that program does is it installs things like .NET Framework or whatever, and you've just got checkboxes of all the stuff you want to install, like say, oh yeah, I want DirectX, I want .NET Framework, I want C++ runtimes and all that stupid shit that you have to depend on with Windows. So that's just a thing to get all that stuff really. Otherwise, yeah, you've got all your regular built-in stuff, Catfish file search, which actually reminds me, another thing that bothered me is there's no search window. So I added a thing when you right click that says search. So you click that. Ah, there we go. So let's go find. Yeah. Hey, there it is. Lizard. Yay, epic. Alright, so we got a search thing. Practical and simple. The other thing, tab browsing wasn't enabled in the file manager by default. So yeah, if you middle click, there you go. Also, if you double click any other window, it will show up as a new tab. So I really like that. But you can turn that off if you really want to in here somewhere. Oh yeah, show hidden files is on by default. While on Windows, I can understand wanting to have the hidden file, but there's so many instances where you have to go to .config or .local, like say if you're editing Minecraft or you needed to copy the WAD files into Doom, you paste them here, and it's just annoying having them hidden all the time, so yeah. Otherwise, you could pretend this is like, I don't know. It's like a bootleg Windows clone in a way. Oh yeah, we've also got yeah, the archive manager. This is oh shit. Yeah, this is built in as well, but I've also pre-installed all the extra packages like RAR file support, stuff like that into it. So again, this is just practical, in my opinion. But it looks like a classic Windows. You don't have to obviously, you know, have the classic Windows stuff if you want. I like it, but if you want to go back to like normal, you know, Linux, you can always just basically do that if you really want to, but nah. Copyright infringement is epic. Let's go and install it. There we go. Oh yeah, another thing I wasn't able to fix is these fade-in scroll bars. Like when you've installed Windows itself, it doesn't do the fading thing that just works properly. So yeah, I wasn't able to fix that for some reason, but anyway. So yeah, we go English. If you're putting this on real hardware, I would absolutely check this. I have also preloaded the NVIDIA drivers on here as well, like as package files, because again, I just wanted to be as practical and, you know, easy to use. Yes, some Linux obsessed hards may say, oh, but it's technically not free software, the license isn't open, but I mean, look, we got a Windows 95 logo on here. Do you think I care about copyright and licenses? So yeah, I've preloaded the NVIDIA driver on here because again, we just wanted to be practical to actually use. Oh yeah, we'll tick both of them. A lot of you are probably wondering what's the point? Why not just use actual Windows 10? Now, I would never use Linux as my main operating system, at least at this point. But I would use it as a secondary one on, like, say if I had a cheap laptop, especially one with 4GB RAM or under. This could actually be pretty handy to use. All those one-time things you do need in Linux, or if you're cloning drives, backing up, all that stuff you normally have to use a boot CD for, which you can use this as a boot CD. In fact, my Lenovo D330 could not boot CloneZilla at all, so I couldn't back up the NAND or anything. However, I could back up into Windows in safe mode, which had the screen vertical for some reason, and that's just how they've made the laptop. Yeah, I found it was the only one that could, only thing I had off by hand that could just boot CloneZilla out of the box, because it's obviously not in all the other distros. So yeah, pretty handy. Also, I like to tick log me in automatically because, you know, It's annoying if you, especially on a desktop. Maybe not on a laptop, but on a desktop, yeah, it's annoying. And here we are. So welcome to Windows. So yada yada yada. So I've customized this just to basically give a basic splash of what's included, what's changed. There we go. Basically the same things I mentioned earlier. Yeah, if you press the arrow keys or press the buttons on the bottom, you can skip through it. There we go. So GIMP, similar to Photoshop, well, kind of, yeah. The closest you're going to get. Same with Pinter and Screenshot. Oh yeah, that's also part of Xubuntu as well. But once it's installed, we'll get to the Wine compatibility. If you, and also clicking any of these links on release notes or there, it'll go to my forum page where you can actually download this distro out of the box. And here we go. So here's our little credits. So there we go. Chicago 95 is the entire theme. This is the user interface, pretty much, just with the settings tweaked to match Windows. Brazilian Trollage is the one that's been testing this on real hardware a lot, and he's been giving me a lot of feedback. Like, he has some different circumstances on his. So when I installed it, well, it had the original Linux theme until you hit try Windows, or you go to install from there. But on his, I had the Chicago 95 theme. But then when you actually got to the desktop on the try Windows screen, like which is what we're using right now, it had the original icons, but it had the mouse cursor and it had the actual title bar and stuff. I don't know what's going on there. It seems to just work better when you install it. I'm not sure why it does that on different hardware. And then lastly, we've got all the Patreons at the moment that we've got. So epic shout out to all you guys. You've been supporting me for years now. Pretty freaking epic. So yeah, and since I'm not working at my old retail job anymore, and I got a easier pizza delivery driver job that pays higher, and instead of working 9-hour days 5 times a week, I work 4-hour days 5 times a week, and I get pretty much the same income at the end. So that's pretty epic. Hence I've been getting a bit bored and making things like Linux distros or top loading CD drives and Windows Pies, and you know, going back into the technical stuff I wanted to do way back in my update video from I don't even remember what year now, 2020? I don't know. And there we go, we finally finished. So installation is finished. You can continue using Windows now, but yeah. Here we go. And there we go, there's our boot screen. Now if you press escape, I found out you can actually show exactly what it's doing, but usually it loads too fast before you get to see anything anyway. So yeah, now despite the setting I picked, it doesn't log me in straight away the first time, but it seems to work after that. There we are. So let's try and get one program to working. So before I actually run anything, usually what I do is I click Wine config, and it'll actually generate all the files prior. While that's going, I'll fix the resolution. So Wine pops up with extras like, oh yeah, do you want Wine Mono? Makes .NET applications work better. Yeah, install as much as possible because you want that compatibility to really go up. Now, ironically, I find Wine runs older Windows games a hell of a lot better than Windows 10. Like, I was able to run Bad Toys 3D, which is a Win 16 game, Ski Free, also a 16-bit game. I mean, there is a 32-bit version as well, but I played the 16-bit version. Magic Ball 2 runs with sound, which is also broken on Windows 10. Blip and Blop ran, which has been broken since Windows 7, I believe. So yeah, I can run older games better, but it's just newer games. Like, I guess if you tried to run GTA 5 on this thing, it wouldn't run. But that's not the point. And now, if you guys are wondering, yes, it does run the Genocide engine. I've got great security. This is where you get to configure your extras if you want. If you want to point new folders somewhere, you can do that. Your theme. You can get the real Windows XP theme and stuff like that in here if you want. But yeah, otherwise, I might change that to Windows 10, but otherwise I'll leave it. Right, so I've just put a bunch of games on the desktop. So here's Bad Toys 3D. Yeah, we'll go and install this. because this is pretty cool to see working. And yes, the MIDI does work. Oh yeah, interestingly, you see this thing on the volume bar here? Like the little gap. You can actually boost the volume further than 100% on Linux, which is interesting. It's pretty cool to see this happening. Now, apparently how this works is it actually emulates an old school processor within Wine to actually run these older programs, so... If you guys have ever seen that Windows 10 tweaks, I did find there was a port to that same thing in Windows 10, so you could run your 16-bit games. Although it ran a lot slower in there for some reason. But anyway, that's pretty cool. I'll do Magic Ball 2 after. I'll install a simple game. Now this is where I had some compatibility issues before, because like when I go to run the install, I'm like, oh yeah, setup, yeah, okay. It just says reader. Anyway, but the game itself runs, although the mouse controls in VMware have broken it. It's like trying to move the cursor to the center of the screen, but yeah, this is a nice quick game. Yeah, if you press S you get this silly... Anyway, it's just some Games Factory game that someone made in the 2000s. There we go. One problem I had is, say if there's a program running with a missing DLL or something, and then I try to run it, I get no feedback with Wine. They should really have a message box or something, but they don't. So instead, if there's a game or something that's just not working, you go type it in manually, and it will tell me, oh okay, it failed loading library CNCS, which is needed. So yeah. Now, I can't get the 3D working great in the virtual machine, unless it's on like real hardware, then it seems to work fine, but let's say if I try to run the Sumo game, it's like, oh yeah, oh, goodbye. It tells me GLX bad FB config, which basically means OpenGL is not set properly. But I found a workaround online somewhere. I'll go and use that workaround. So that will make everything run in the software rendered mode. And run games anyway. There we are. Oh yeah, license key. There we go. Yeah. One thing I'm actually looking kind of forward to is because that Steam Deck is coming out, Valve announced they want to try and get Proton working as good as possible before its release.
Our goal is for every game to work by the time we ship Steam Deck. We are constantly building on Proton, and there's a lot of work that has been done that doesn't yet affect the public version of Proton.
Oh, fuck, okay. But that'll also mean Wine compatibility, which is what Proton is based on, will get better as well. I'll try Magic Ball 2. Let's have a look. There we go. Holy shit. Excuse me? What are you doing? This wasn't happening on my real machine. What the fuck? Alright, there we go. Because we were still running Sumo full apparently. There we go. Hey, it's working this time. Now this is epic. Yeah, you run this without a graphics card, pretty base, but if you're on real hardware, it should work a bit better. Especially then I've preloaded the NVIDIA drivers too, so we've got NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel HD graphics drivers. I hope you enjoyed this little demo, I suppose. If you guys can give it a try and I can get feedback on it, I'd be happy to hear. The underlying problem is it's still Linux, so you still have all those annoying troubleshooting guides when things go wrong. But in my Windows KippyKip forum thing, I'm going to try and record every problem on how to get around it. Mostly with Windows programs on there. Oh yeah, I have got all the Windows 95 wallpapers on here as well, if you want. They don't look good in a modern resolution, like, fuck, that really fucks with your eyes. Well, same with that too. Oh, you have your clouds and these ones. These ones actually look alright, like... But yeah, everything else though kind of looks a bit jarring on a resolution this big. And mind you, this is like 1280 by 1024 or something on this. This is on my secondary screen. If this was on 1080p, it'd look even more jarring. But ooh, especially that one. I don't like that one at all. Perhaps I can make a version where it's 2 times the pixels. That might actually look better. Maybe I'll do that for a future build, but in its current state, yeah, it doesn't look too good. But anyway, I'll see you guys all around.